I wanted to do a bit of an impromptu video today because I got actually so many emails about this and messages, like people saying similar things to this. So someone told me that they've actually, been thinking about starting their online business through a blog for the longest time, like years, and they just can't seem to bring themselves to do it. They even have a blog post written kind of as drafts, and they haven't published them because they're afraid of what people will think. They feel kind of overwhelmed with just kind of launching it, right? Like putting yourself out there, because it is scary. I've actually gotten a separate email from someone, and I had a conversation with them, and she has been thinking about starting a blog for 8 years and she hasn't done it yet. I actually started my blog, I think around 8 years ago, and because I did that, because I took that leap of faith, now I have, this online business that makes me, my full-time income basically. So I don't have to do a 9-to-5 anymore. If you're someone who's also been putting off, starting that YouTube channel or that blog or whatever it might be, that online business that you've been dreaming about, leave it in the comments below, because I would really love to hear from you and maybe have a chat. I guess I also got the idea for this video because there's this kind of trending reel audio that's been going on, and I made a reel on it, and it's something like, let people think you're cringe, and a lot of people loved that reel and really resonated with it. So I just kind of wanted to talk a bit more about this topic. So here's the thing, I really get where you're coming from. Like, I really understand that feeling, because when I first started my blog, I started it in 2013, I believe. So it's over 8 years ago, nearly 9 years soon. So I started my blog and I told no one about it. I didn't tell my parents, I didn't tell my, now husband, he was my boyfriend at the time. I didn't tell anyone, I didn't tell my friends. I just didn't want anybody to know about it, which I think a lot of you can relate to that feeling. Like, you just feel like you want to give this a go, but you kind of, you have this fear of maybe it failing and then you look stupid, or you just fear of what they will say, if maybe they'll discourage you, if maybe they'll just kind of make fun of you because they'll think it's silly, which obviously can happen. So that's what I did. I didn't tell anyone about it because I had those fears too. I also started my YouTube channel, I think a few years after that. I can't remember exactly when I started, I have to go back and check, but I started this YouTube channel because I just really loved everything that was going on, online on the internet. I then discovered Instagram and everything like that, and I just wanted to be a part of that. I just wanted to kind of have my own place, my own channel, my own blog. I didn't know what I was going to do about it. I didn't know if I was ever going to make money from it. I just knew I wanted to be a part of that. But again, I didn't tell anyone about my YouTube channel either. And I remember feeling so nervous when someone first found out about my YouTube channel. Like, I think they stumbled upon me online, and it can feel nerve-wracking. It can make you feel anxious about it. And that's okay, because it's something that's very out of our comfort zone. Like, putting yourself out there for people to see, it can feel really scary. But the thing is, the response you will get from family, from friends, from whoever stumbles upon your blog or YouTube channel will most likely not be as bad as you imagine it. Like, our mind makes things so much worse than they actually are. It usually goes to the worst case scenario when it's usually not the case. My confidence online, because I actually get questions about this, like, how are you so confident on YouTube? I wasn't like this in the beginning. Like, if you go to my YouTube channel and you watch my videos, like the first few ones that I did, actually, please don't go and watch that, because they're really cringe. Like, I go back sometimes to look for some things and I cringe at myself, because that's just how you start. That's how you start. That's how you put yourself out there. You create this content, you show up consistently, and then you get your confidence, and that's how your confidence grows. It's not something that comes from overthinking. Confidence always comes from putting in the action, showing up, creating the content. That's how you get confidence in anything. So I guess for me, the thing that really drove me to keep showing up and to keep creating this content, even though in the beginning no one was watching, no one was reading my blog, I wasn't making any money, but the kind of mission that I had, I think I had this way before that, but especially after my baby was born. So he's 4 years old now. After he was born, I had this really strong kind of urge to really make money from this and to really turn it into a business, because I didn't want to go back to a 9-to-5. I didn't want to, put him in childcare all day long so that I wouldn't see him all day because I had to work this 9-to-5, right? So I think at that point, for me, my mission to make, money online from this became so much bigger and so much more important to me than, wondering whether that person in high school, who I went to high school with, thought I was cringe or not. Because at the end of the day, who cares? Like, I know it's easy to say, it's harder to, you know, really get a grasp that it doesn't really matter, does it? Like, what they think. Sure, someone from your high school might look at your Instagram reels or YouTube video and think, oh, she's so silly, oh, she's just filming those videos, she's just writing some silly articles on her blog, or, you know, whatever they might say. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter, right? Most people will not say these things to your face. Even if they might think these things, they might not say it to your face. Or if they do, I mean, I actually feel really sorry for people who really put negativity on your content, right? In your comments of YouTube or Instagram, whatever it might be. Because honestly, you have to be yourself in a really, really bad place and, you know, have really, really bad struggles in order to go and actively be negative towards someone online, regardless if it's someone you know or not. And I think that's kind of my take on negativity. Whenever I get a comment like that, I just feel bad for them, to be honest. And it's never going to prevent me from showing up online, whatever they might say. I got some weird comments, like, I think someone told me, I actually can't remember, they told me I either open my mouth too much or not enough. I actually can't remember. It was just something about the way I talk, which, I don't know, this is how I open my mouth. Like, there's nothing I can do to change it. If someone doesn't like it, obviously there are a million other videos that they can watch instead, but instead they chose to, you know, put that negativity out towards me. So obviously they might have some really, really bad struggles they're going through, which I just feel bad for them. And that's the thing, you can't let those things prevent you from doing this. And yeah, at the end of the day, what one person will think is cringe or silly or stupid, another person might actually find that really inspiring and motivating and helpful. And that's just the way it is. You will never be able to please everyone. Some people will love you, some people won't. And that's okay. That's why there's, you know, a multitude of channels, a multitude of blogs out there, so that people can pick and choose who they resonate with and who they really like to watch, right? And your job is to stay true to the people who do enjoy your content and who do want to, you know, watch and listen to you, rather than focusing on the people who don't, if you know what I mean. Like, focus on your audience, focus on the people who do want to hear from you. But yeah, again, I think sometimes it's really easy to say these things, but it does take months or years of practice to actually feel like you're in a good place, to feel like you have that confidence, because in the beginning especially, it's scary. It does feel very scary. And the thing is, it's okay to have that fear, it's okay to feel that, and go and do it regardless. Like, go and be brave and put yourself out there and do the thing, because it's okay to have the fear, but it doesn't need to stop you. There's also this thing of, how do you deal with family members maybe, or people who are really close to you, who don't get it, or they feel like it's silly, or they just don't understand why you would do this, why you would put yourself out there. And for one, first of all, I would say you really need to have some, you know, healthy boundaries put in place there, like, depending on how, I guess, harsh they are in their critique. But one thing that really helps me is, to be honest, your, you know, maybe family members or people who say things to you like they're trying to discourage you from doing this, it's usually not necessarily from a bad place. Like, it's usually because they are maybe concerned because they don't get it, like they don't know how it works. So they're basically trying to put themselves in your shoes, right? So they're trying to think, how would I feel if I had to do this thing online? And it often makes them feel very uncomfortable. It makes them feel, you know, insecure, unsafe, or uncomfortable. So that's why they're trying to discourage you, because they're just kind of projecting that onto you. But it doesn't mean you need to kind of take their advice on this always, because it's not usually advice, it's just kind of discouraging you from it, isn't it? The only people I would take advice on this subject is people who are actually doing this successfully, if you know what I mean. So I do believe in, even if, you know, family members or your spouse or people around you, even if they don't really get it, I think as long as they are supportive, and they don't even need to go out of their way to be supportive, just kind of be accepting of it, I think that's fine. Like, I don't expect everyone in my family to get it. I really don't. And I'm sure some of them don't. A lot of them have been actually very supportive. Like, once I kind of told people about it, or they found out, they have been actually really, really surprisingly nice, like surprisingly supportive. And I think that might be the case for you. Like, people will surprise you. And it's actually a really brave thing to put yourself out there. And it will be inspiring for a lot of people, even if it's from your family or from your friends. You might inspire them to go after their dreams, and it doesn't necessarily have to be something online. They might have dreams of their own, and because they see you go for it and be brave and, you know, do it even though it scares you sometimes, it might push them to do the same. So I just think that's a really beautiful thing, to be honest. And I guess one thing that I've kind of learned through self-development, through my journey on here, is that if you let these things, like the people thinking you're cringe, people thinking you're silly, if you let these things stop you from doing what you want to do at the end of the day, doing that YouTube channel, starting that blog, if you let them prevent you, you're basically letting other people control your life. Like, you truly are. If you're letting other people's judgment or other people's thoughts, even sometimes just kind of you have that fear of what they might say, even though they never actually say that to you, that fear of what they might say or they might think, you are basically letting someone else control your life, even though they don't even know they're controlling your life, if you know what I mean. Because you kind of have that little voice in your head that's, you know, telling you to not do this in case they say it's silly or in case they say it's cringe. That's just one thing that I feel like has really put things into perspective for me. And when you're doing this, like when you've got those thoughts in your head of, should I do this or should I not do this because people will think I'm cringe, people will think I'm silly, you are actually choosing between, am I going to go after my dream life and potentially make a full-time income from this and, you know, make passive income from this? Am I going to go for that? Or am I going to stay stuck in a place that I don't like and I don't enjoy just because I'm afraid of what this person from high school might say? Like, you're truly choosing between those things. So yes, I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I'm not saying it won't take, you know, time to adjust to these things and time to kind of build that confidence and show up more consistently, because it does take time, it does take practice. But the only thing that's going to get you there, the only thing that's going to get you that success is to actually go and do it. Like, it doesn't come from overthinking, and it's okay if people think you're cringe. Like, after a while you will really not care about it, especially after you start making money from this. You will be able to say, well, yeah, you might think it's cringe, but I make a full-time income from this, so I don't really care what you think. And yes, you will get to that place as long as you start and keep going. And yeah, if you ever need to have a chat about this, I know so many people struggle with this and struggle to get started. I definitely leave them in the comments below. I would love to get back to you and kind of have a chat, or email me or DM me on Instagram. I'm always on there. But yeah, I hope this was helpful. Again, let people think you're cringe. Who cares? Just start that business, keep going, and I promise you will see that success one day. So I hope you're having a lovely day, and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.